Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Colleen, and good evening, everyone who's attending. A special welcome to Heidi Reed, Mrs. Senior Vice President, and to Martley Keiter, our CEO Operations. Thank you for joining us tonight. Colleen is a social worker specializing in court preparation and doing forensic analysis, and she will do this training for us tonight on red flags in relationships. The purpose of this training is that you make the speech your own going forward for the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is going to start on the 25th of November. We would like you to listen to what Colleen is saying, make the speech your own, and when you address children, adults, wherever you get the opportunity, raise awareness about this very important subject. Colleen has worked with numerous victims in the past. The one most of you will know is Ina Bonet, the victim of the Molimole monster, and she can really give us valuable input in domestic violence relationship. Thank you, Colleen. Over to you.
Thank you, Sonia. Tonight I will be addressing red flags in relationships. But let's first start at the beginning. What is a red flag? So the main thing is I want to say tonight is that a lot of adult relationships starts on social media platform. So we have been born with a built-in protection system. So if you walk into a room, you can immediately feel something is off with someone. So you just look at someone, and we've all had that, and you think, oh my goodness, I need to stay away from this person. There's something eerie. He hasn't done anything to me. He hasn't said anything to me, but I just have a feeling. With social media, that warning system has been turned off because you cannot see or feel that over the phone. So a lot of relationships starts online. We have a drink or two, or we go out for dinner, and then the relationship starts. And then only your heuristic system in your body will start to say, listen, there's some warning signs. We need to look at this. And then you've got that feeling, that gut feeling, and you're not really sure how to deal with that. So red flags, that is things that you will see and experience when in a relationship. Okay, so a red flag in a relationship is a warning sign that a partner may not be suitable or that the relationship may be unhealthy or harmful. And what is important, I'm going to talk out of the viewpoint that you will be helping someone in this kind of relationship. What is important to know is that they don't always see the warning signs if they are in the relationship, because there's the circle of abuse and all the other behaviors that we'll discuss now. So sometimes the family or a close person or even the children will tell you, oh no, there's something wrong in the relationship. Red flags can be obvious, like physical abuse, or subtle, like constant criticism. They can arise at any point in a relationship and may start subtly, but become more problematic over time and always escalates. I want to emphasize the escalating part of this. It will always start with coming to work with a blue mark in the neck, or coming to work with an arm in a sling. Later on, there will be more visible marks in the face, or more reasons or body pains that's unexplained. So as an employer, you can try to see behavior and patterns in your employees as well. So what is a red flag? That is unhealthy behaviors. These include controlling behavior, manipulation, gaslighting, narcissism, and emotional and physical abuse. I will touch on some of those points a bit later. There's a lack of respect. This can include not respecting boundaries or isolating you from family and friends. This is a very important one. Red flags in an abusive relationship, they will always try to isolate you from people who can spot the red flag in that person. That will tell you something is off. So you will say, okay, no, let's not go to that person. Let's not talk. That friendship is unhealthy. Dishonesty, this can include not keeping their word. And this is like silly stuff, like not making an appointment with your family because they have to work late. So this is daily things that they can do. Inability to resolve conflicts. This can be a sign that the relationship may not be healthy. This includes gaslighting. We'll talk about gaslighting in a few minutes. Conflicting lifestyles. This can be a sign that you may not be compatible with that partner. So that is extreme introvert with the extreme extrovert, and then not allowing the other one to live or be in their personality or environment that they enjoy being in. Excessive clinginess, this can be a sign that your partner may not be ready for a relationship. So that is the constant messaging, where are you, how far are you, that type of behavior. So some important concepts to understand with red flags. So if someone is talking about gaslighting, so gaslighting occurs in an intimate relationship when a partner repeatedly undermines and distorts their partner's reality by denying facts, the situation around them, or their partner's feelings and needs. It can cause a survivor to question themselves and become unable to trust their own perceptions and judgments. As an example of this can be, but you didn't tell me about the dinner with your parents last night, 7 o'clock. No, but we did discuss it the week before. No, you never told me about this. And you will start to really question yourself. Did I really speak about that? Didn't I mention it? Why didn't I speak about that? So that self-doubt that you start to feel about yourself, that is gaslighting. So he really deflects whatever is happening onto you, and that everything that's going wrong is because you did something wrong. Manipulation. Manipulation in a relationship is when someone uses tactics to control another person's thoughts or feelings and actions to gain power and influence. It can happen in any relationship, but it is most common in close ones. So emotional manipulation, that is the use of the tactics. You will see indirectly expressing anger. So, you are really making me angry, when actually it is the situation that angers them. They will reflect it back onto you. Emotional bullying, humiliating that person. Using guilt. You just don't want me to be with your parents. You don't want me to visit with your friends after they have gaslighted the situation and not sticking to the plans or arrangements made. Moving goalposts, love bombing, showering adoration in the beginning. So this is really, really in the beginning, and that is excessive flowers every day, visits every day. That is extreme. You've never had anyone do that to you. That can be seen as a red flag. Not always. There's sometimes really good people out there, but we must really be careful and wary about someone that is excessive and really just wants to get married and move away, and you go live in Cape Town and there's no family or friends or anyone around you. Be careful of that. Foot in the door, big request after a small request. So like, can I please, this is just like in the relationship. Can you do this for me? And then something bigger will come along and you will feel guilty if you don't do that for that person. Small requests, big requests. So they decide what you should or shouldn't do. And they always guilt trip you. But I really missed you and you weren't there, that type of thing. They exploit your weaknesses. They really get to know you as a person. They're very clever and manipulative in the sense that they will seek out your weak points. If you're really a family person and love, then they will use that against you. But you don't care about our family. It's only your family. What about me and our kids? Or what about me and you? They are just trying to shift the focus back to them, actually. Narcissism. Narcissism is extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes a person ignore the needs of those around them. While everyone may show occasional narcissistic behavior, true narcissists frequently disregard others or their feelings. They also do not understand the effect that their behavior has on other people, and they lack empathy. So they will really be angry or do something, and when you react, they don't understand why are you reacting like this. It's because they don't have the ability of empathy and understanding what you are feeling about whatever situation happened in the relationship that causes the upset. Not everybody is a narcissist. If you have a fight, it's not because they are a narcissist. It's really just sometimes a fight. But if it's a constant fight about what he wants and not getting and that type of behavior, then that will be a red flag. Signs you are dating a narcissist, the love bombing, followed by devaluation. Then intense praise again. So I'm so in love with you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. We have an incident where you do not listen to or say yes to what they want, then you don't love me and you're not good enough. My ex-girlfriend is better than you. And then it will be followed up again with praise that you are the best person. That we've talked about gaslighting, sabotaging friendships and other relationships. They really isolate you so that there's no support system in place for you when things really go bad. Making you the enemy or bad guy for having feelings or reactions. That is the manipulative behavior. Constant lying to avoid responsibility, never being at fault for any issue in the relationship, turning all of the blame towards you, having a lack of interest of who you are as a person. So it's really all about them. It's not about what you enjoy doing. It's not about what is your goals or what's your aspirations. It's really about what they want to achieve and how they want to get that done. Having a lack of interest in who you are as a person, and an entitlement, sense of entitlement. So now we see red flags, and what do we do now? The first step that we will advise someone that comes to us with, so I don't see people receiving this training as becoming the counselor for this person, but this is just to say, if one of your employees come to you and say, but this is my relationship and this is the problems, and there's someone that they need to talk to, these are some of the pointers you can give, but remember, they stay responsible for whatever they are going to do and choices that they are making. This is really just to give you a better understanding of the abusive relationship and red flags. So the first thing you will do, is to communicate. Communicate, talk about what you're experiencing in the relationship, what is not working for you. So you will tell them they need to work on the communication within the relationship. Talk to your partner about concerns in a calm, private space. This is not done in the middle of a fight. This is done when things are calm and you're having some coffee and you can just sit and talk. You can share how their behavior affects you and ask questions to better understand. So sometimes it's better to say, this is how this is making me feel. And then they will reply with, but that was not my intention. I actually wanted this, or whatever their intention was. Set boundaries. Set clear boundaries to protect your emotional and physical well-being. What is very important for me to say is that if you are aware of a person experiencing physical abuse, I would really not recommend anybody staying in that relationship. Physical abuse escalates very fast and very bad, and that can usually not be discussed or fixed. So I would really, with this type of relationship, I would get someone in to assist with a safety plan and to get this person safe. Seek help from professionals. So even if you see the relationships and your employee is really struggling, try to get them the necessary help. Consider talking to a therapist or a marriage counselor to gain clarity and confidence, because they break their confidence and self-esteem. You really believe you are worth nothing. And the work environment is a place where you're built up and safe. So I really believe that, like with school children, they come and talk what's happening at home. I believe adults do the same. Where they feel safe at a workplace, they will come and tell someone there things are really bad. So I really think that you can talk to friends and family for support. Prioritize your own well-being. This is really the last on our own list for everybody, because you would really focus on the other person just to get the eggshell in the house, to not be walking on the eggshells, where actually the focus should be coming back to you to sort that out, to have yourself in place. Do things that make you feel good, like exercising, spending time with friends and family, or pursuing a hobby. Try something new. But this is something that develops you as an individual as well. And this is if you see all these red flags and you really, and your friends see it and you've really talked to someone, you can end the relationship. Nothing is set in stone. If something is not working, you don't need to stick to it. If the red flag persists and your partner doesn't change, you might need to consider ending the relationship. And if it's an abusive relationship, you'll have to go the legal route of a protection order, or not have to, but It is really recommended because physical abuse escalates. It's important to remember that everyone has different boundaries and needs, and some red flags might not be a problem for someone else. Your personal beliefs can also affect how you perceive and respond to red flags. So this point links up with communication again. So for that person in the person you're in the relationship with, sometimes behavior is acceptable because that is his background, that is his little box he grew up in. And if we don't communicate that that is making me uncomfortable, then that red flag will persist. So this one and the communication goes together again. So we now know that there's a person seeing red flags in an abusive relationship, emotional or physical, and this person wants to get out. That is not always as easy as we all make it out to be. A lot of these women, okay, some men as well, are financially dependent on the partner. So they cannot just, and there's sometimes children involved. So it's not just pack a bag and get out of the house and then you start over. There's a lot of planning that needs to be done with a safety plan. And what is important is that this is determined by the victim. We are always led by what the person feels comfortable doing right now. We cannot push our own belief system on the victim. They need to decide, okay, but I can only do this in 6 months. Okay, and then we sit and we talk about why only in six months? What needs to happen? Now, because that is the month I get my bonus, I can put down a deposit for a flat. It's all practical explanations if we really talk to that person, because finances is the huge concern with leaving red flag relationships. Yeah, you cannot force him or her to do anything. And remember, if you want them to do what we say they must do, then we must take the responsibility with them. We keep them responsible and accountable for their own relationships, but we want to create a supportive environment. We support, but we are not going to be used. Do not give financially from yourself, because that will become just another dependent factor for that victim. So instead of trying to get that person on their own feet, they just become dependent on someone else again. And have support. Don't be available 24 hours. Nobody is available 24 hours. Set times when communication can be done and when you're available. And don't always answer immediately. Leave some time and say, okay, now I'll get back to you a bit later, because they will get emotionally dependent on you again. And that is also not healthy for the person doing the support. So the practical examples of what we can do with the safety plan is the person make copies of important documents that's in the house, because they will not allow them to take anything out of the house if they would want to leave. So you start making copies of important documents and have a safe space where you can put them. Maybe at the office where he doesn't have any access to it. But if they work together, then you will leave it with your mother or a good friend or a colleague. You tell them to take it home. You've got the copies. You make a getaway bag. So we say it's like enough clothes for 1 or 2 nights. You put some extra cash there, but you build this bag up. You don't do this all at once, and when he can see it or she can see it, you put some clothes in and you put the bag and you leave the bag also with a friend where you can go, where if I need to leave tonight, this is the place that I will go. If there's no one, then you go to your nearest police station. They will have a list of shelters and places of safety, and or we just phone Sonia and then she will give us the list. She will get in touch with me and then we'll get a place. We'll look for a place. But that is the crux of the safety plan. It is determined by the victim. There is prior planning that needs to be done. You need to have a plan of when and how to leave. It is not just packing your bags and getting out. And it's really unfair for people on the outside to expect that of someone in that relationship. So we really focus on rather get a plan in place so that you're on your own and that you can carry on. And that was very fast in a nutshell.
Colleen, thank you so much for your time once again and for doing this training for us. We will be hosting you again in our 16 days as part of our webinar series. I see there's a lot of hands going up, so thank you so much for a very informative session. Thank you, everyone, and good night.